You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness. It would come to those who find those in another rush of realizing that you can lie to yourself with the reflection that whispers into the fog of a mirror looking back at you. You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness. It would come to those who find those in another rush of realizing that you can lie to yourself with the reflection that whispers. You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness. It would come to those who find those in another rush of realizing that you can lie to yourself with the reflection that whispers into the fog of a mirror looking back at you and looking at close. But you could find yourself so tired to see, torn into the way so you can't keep going like this for the sickness. You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness. It would come to those who find those in another rush of realizing that you can lie to yourself with the reflection that whispers into the fog of a mirror looking back at you and looking at close. But you could find yourself so tired to see, torn into the way so you can't keep going like this for the sickness that make you enough for the poison to fill in your veins and the constantly controlling yourself with the home. You help you fight for the dust of you knees and wiping your face and then putting the exhale for the not worth it. Enough for the good, enough for the none. I'm enough for the change for the I can be the being. You see all that you can see for the I can be power fearless, and I can be walking that tightrope every step I take closer to the previous when the shoulders are slugging enough for the way for the carrying on for the tongue for the this to be the what I think it literally meant. Darkness of the night for the this to be the path and dimly lit. I look up under the safety nets and look high above to see the God's placing best for walking over what not knowing where I can go for the moons and question crossing my mind for I can have the answers and do not know where they're at the ties and eyes grow dreary. Enough for the soul to be tired and tired for the infinite joy for the tired of the darkness and tired of everyone else. Not knowing why to tread for the path and why I must do this so alone for the far for the life for the far for the peace it must be tragically far from home. Fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness.
You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth.
You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness.
You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself.
You would have to fall into the darkness, and I had to lose myself to see the brutal truth and the truth that's behind that for the darkness. You would come to those who find those in another rush of realizing that you can lie to yourself with the reflection that whispers into the fog of a mirror looking back at you and looking at close. But you can find yourself so tired to see, torn into the way so you can't keep going like this for the sickness that make you enough for the poison to fill in your veins and the constantly controlling yourself with the whom you help you fight for the dust of your knees and wiping your face and then putting the exhale for the not worth it. Enough for the good, enough for the none. I'm enough for the change for the I can be the being. You see all that you can see for the I can be power fearless. I can be walking that tightrope every step I take closer to the previous when the shoulders are slugging enough for the weight for the carrying on for the tongue for the this to be the what I think it literally meant. Darkness of the night for the this to be the path and dimly lit. I look up under the safety nets and look high above to see the God's placing best for walking over what not knowing where I can go for the moons and question crossing my mind for I can have the answers and do not know whatever around the ties and eyes grow dreary. Enough for the soul to be tired and tired for the infinite joy for the tired of the darkness and tired of everyone else. Not knowing why to tread for the path and why I must be the so alone for the far for the life and the far for the peace it must be tragically far from home. Heartstrings snapping against my feet falter. I know whether I can come along into the darkness and avoid what I can be dreaded all alone for the something that saved me for the breaking and the fall. Something that's soft enough for the gentle that has something finally answer my call. For the calling of the shadows behind me, but then I'm not scared of them for the loved ones and distant with your love for me for the first time I can long to see the happy memories alone strong. Enough to resume that journey for the dawn, the full closure for the dream to be walking alone by someone for this to be the home where the heart is. The heart knowing the ins and outs, for the can't continue. That should be the tens of thousands. And whether we have a dozen enough for the feeding in the self and lies, and you can write that. You better not get me for the clout. And the guarantee attention for the thighs and the hips and the waist, and you can find a safe place inside of that giant ghostly white sheet. And this will be the table for yourself for the endless pain. Pain you sit on the wall for the guitar with you sway inside in the air. And you smile less as they write and find no end to the corner of the lips and dripping like a honey for ice and didn't touch you. There's no end for the moonshine outside, for the ocean call you and twirling away as the wet sand. There's no place to find this for brimmer to the sea for the heart for theirs to be, not the feeling alone again, for the walking and talking to people that always do what they do, for the don't want to see nothing but the feeling. The feeling of what they have for the emotions and not be the carrying of the weight. It's heavier than thought, and this to be expected but not wanted. A chain of reaction for the combusting of chemicals, and something you can leave that for the dropping out. Disappointing for wasted times, and this will be harnessing the potential of what you feel like a fox, and okay and not for the bored, for the feeling of what you can get fucked up, for the changing of I'm selfish enough to be myself at all times. Who changed my life for the setting of free of change from the past to help me forget about the pain, but now I want to leave by my own side for the fretting and what you can be in presence and what you can break, drown again in the darkness. Or maybe there'd be something to spark that light for the summertime enough of the rose floating into the breeze in the wintertime, and the love is warm enough to flow from the head for the toes. Or enough for this to be the skies that are blue, for the love is warm enough for the loving and the sun for the thunder rolls, and peaceful enough for the refuge in the pouring rain. Spring flowers bloom for the love is bold enough for the dark blue petals and the iris and the autumn leaves fall enough for the love to be copper, shining like a bright harvest in the sunrise. New year, you can't continue that excitement, for this will be the exodus of my only love. For the rain, for the pain, for the whispers, the consumption of what precious time I have to spend effortless, and this will be the fasting for my art. Dreams to come true for the be the beautiful person that I be. Courage, stereotypes, stares. How to be conservative you may choose, and how to be the choosing of your dress for the dress, and dress yourself for the choosing of the robe where you could be covered. One stuck, one free for the anxiousness, for the scare and the sadness, and feeling innocent enough to peg you down for the waiting to the end, to running around pacing it was all good for the impressing. Promises of the tongue, guided for the smooth the teaching, becoming a master of your own creation, always feeling perfect for the work for the high and fine and expertise for you to be the warning of the recovering, hard for the hurting. This was news to me that sounded like something you would say. It was amongst the best of time for the having the peace of mind for the evolving of those who are speaking.
Bring me beyond that infinity.
Bring me beyond.
Bring me beyond that infinity. Infinity for the endless of heavens and endless of the evening, where I can find the study of life and dearest lessons to bring myself beyond. Or if I didn't have hope in those who do not see for what lies ahead, with the sun was faded, for the moon is now dead. Those little wings would be the fragile enough to soft. We whisper feathers into the branches and cling yourself as a tiny bird to the small voices. I heard the singing, the quiet sorrows from the saddening words to let me hope for the before that branching gives away the little wings that heavy like a clay. I'll be okay enough if you won't go away. That argument between the world for the man for the killing of me for the what you can read my man for the polluting of the sea for the plan for mine. The plan is taking care of me for what I can find in sorrow, so I live in harmony for why. It will be the greatest good. We all must love, for the love is the most important, for without that we cannot feel the joy of the happiness, and we can find that grief of the pain for the both are temporary enough at the end of the love winning and without the greatest good in this world. You can be selfish and not to sell your fish for profit. What kind of profit would that be for we got? A tear stain for the pillow, for the blood shots and eye, for the heart full of sorrow, for the smiles and heart. Captain for the return. across the page, for the different, for the being, for the colorful book, for the blending of what you can find burned down, for the big shot that you can never have a deal with the mass man. You can't afford to not have another court case with the windows and cleaners and find yourself a gynecologist with what you can find a read. That kind of love really is something special enough and hard to describe. I feel special, blessed, safe, and happy for enough and letting you interest and handling myself in the streets and knocking kind of tangents and problems to make you feel like you were never members of the pyramid. Combine what you can make you think that never happened to you, don't get me. You don't feel jealous enough to make you feel like you find it in 5 seconds. You can find the kind of love that's difficult to find, the love you're talking to. Smooth around the protection, surrounded up with the sun, the shield, the bleeding, and the trinity, the tears rolling to the sky, flashing, the cold stuff in your hands, and the red inside of the eyes, the soul that starts to repeat itself with the thousands and years, the raindrops are hitting your face and missing with the tears. Millions of reasons for God, the mere hope of life, maybe I spark a cigarette, just the beat of thunder, releasing the rhythm of the drums, and the man, the beast, the monster he becomes, softly with the shadow for the blood red moon, for the crying of woes, stifle in the gloom, for the playing of fire. Fire will burn and take you upon this lesson you learn, for this is no crevice in the crack. There's where we can't find peace and fight us back. All endless possibilities when the approach and wherefore we're behind my ears and the wrapping your arms around my waist from the whisper how I mean it, but the whisper are pretty enough for the comprehension. Fears share the same taste and not hold back that feeling to be advantage to the right. Reasons to speak from the soul, for don't want no physical whisper, but the thinking of nothing's more for the mind name. Treasure elaborate enough for the passion and being worthy of your handheld. You can touch with the imaginations and running wildly and naturally, enticing enough for the maintaining a juicy surprising reality. Find yourself in the sky, for the gaze and see what you find when you get. You find the lips like a magician, and the voices soothing enough to keep myself through the stars laying their backs. Like you're the news, or you can be the news, and full of blue enough to fly to be buttered like breakfast in bed, for the talking to pillows and beneath your head comfort. I'm the neck, feel the air, for the sea, feel the feet, the words that can't explain from the dreams.
Bring me beyond that infinity for the endless of heavens and endless of the evening through where I can find the study of life and dearest lessons to bring myself beyond. Or if I didn't have hope, those who do not see through what lies ahead, with the sun was faded, but the moon is now dead. Those little wings will be the fragile enough to soft. We whisper feathers into the branches and cling yourself as a tiny bird with a small voice. As I heard the singing the quiet sorrows and saddening words to let me hope for the before that branch and gives away the little wings are heavy like a clay. I'll be okay enough if you won't go away. That argument between the world for the man for the killing of me, for what you can rate my man for the polluting and the sin for the plan for my plan is taking care of me from like you find the sorrows so I couldn't find me for why. It would be the greatest of good. We all must love the love, it's the most important thing. Without that we cannot feel the joy of the happiness, and we can find that grief for the pain for the both are temporary enough at the end for the love winning, and without the greatest good in this world. You're selfish enough to sell your fish for profit. What kind of profit would that be for you've got? Tear stains for the pillow for the flesh shots of eye for the heart full of the sorrow for the smile too hard to find, but some days we may be seen like I'm happy than most of the far for the far.
Sometimes we don't get to dream again. We what we want, we can only have to. Sometimes it don't get to last. And never get to think enough for the voting of what you can find. And found the love for the hoping of what you can find to read this. And know it's about you for the thinking of what you deserve so much for never giving up. It's how I see you, for no one is perfect. For not even you, for not even the stars in the sky. For the birds that fly by, for that have the flaws. For everyone does, and the flaws make us perfectly imperfect. Your face was built for you, for the sculpting it carefully, inch by the gods in your eyes, and carved the most of the precious and beautiful heart. tiger eye for the shining of gold for your corners and your feeling the creases is smiling. Laughing in happiness and youth and never much of it for the yet. Then here you are for the lips so beautiful enough to love. Watch you talking what you say to me for making me melt. Yet I can find the love that never comes out for not for me or yourself. That wild heart will return for to bury me into the woods. The sticks and stones are 6 feet under the snow, so that my body will turn into bones, and that's a place I would be wild as I am. And those words would enter me. They enter me immediately, for this was all I could do to respond, for never heard it for self. Felt such a calling for the words described, the potentiality for the magnetism, for the bringing two sides to one, drawn into the quarters, to be the love for the centuries embodied for the divinity, and now you can acknowledge yourself in the reflective and fathomable, enough for the love to be last. Talk to me about awakened scars from the arousal, scars from my drive for the chemical release, and self-harmed enough for the harm really bruising and drowsing. Unused to the pleasure for the bitten and war of tension dancing under my skin for the soft of winter droughts between the pillars of the flesh, and how deity enough and be for the fly. Pleasure fire for taking higher for heavens and reaching left you dying to bleaching your occasional laugh for the ocean that sat. You could be wanted as a woman for the living and distance as a man. Tough love. Anything about them and their struggles for what you can find, for this to be worries and hopes and dreams, and when it's time to you to say hello for the borrowing what you can find with self for the to be a book, and there's a pity for the strangers inside this world, for the connection of a line and separated for the you to be yourself and looked up to, for the noticing facing of what you can ask, who are you? A pace for peace, or the dream for human, for being of a monster, for the first to the meeting, card a picture for you to show me the first dream. Can't you see for the people that are kind enough to have the connection between the joking and laughing, the fighting, the abandonment, for the next breath, for the coming back to the other side of the war, for the having relationship besides the curtain, for the just to not turn into the human that whatever you are will be joined to.